בכל העולם יש אהבה, בכל אדם קיים הרגש, אבל כמוך לאף אחד אין, את יחידה. בכל שנייה סומך פרח, בכל דקה נולד עוד משהו, בכל הזדמנות אני אומרת לך תודה. תודה על האושר, תודה על השקט, תודה על האל ששלח לי אותך, תודה על היופי, תודה על הזמן איתך, תודה על הכל, אהובה יחידה. בכל העולם יש אהבה, בכל אדם קיים הרגש, אבל כמוך לאף אחד אין, את יקרה. תודה על האושר, תודה על השקט, תודה על האל ששלח לי אותך, תודה על היופי, תודה על הזמן איתך, תודה על הכל, אהובה יחידה. בכל העולם יש אהבה, בכל אדם קיים הרגש, אבל כמוך לאף אחד אין, את יקרה. תודה על האושר, תודה על השקט, תודה על האל ששלח לי אותך, תודה על היופי, תודה על הזמן איתך, תודה על הכל, אהובה יחידה. תודה על הכל, אהובה יחידה.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to you. I'd like to welcome you to Temple Emmanuel, Simply Shabbat. After a long week, it's so nice to come into this space and begin to welcome Shabbat by singing together, letting our bodies vibrate a little bit. Let us feel as if we're alive. And to take this time and separate it from everything else that happens, so that we can end our week and begin a new week with love in our hearts, with peace, and the Shabbat spirit. Let us begin by singing how good it is for all of us to be together.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
That part again.
הנה
already by singing that first song. I can feel my energy changing. And now let's bring in the special light of Shabbat. You see, on the first Shabbat, it is said that there was a primordial light that stretched from one end of the earth to the other. And on Shabbat, when we light those candles, that light becomes stretched once again, so that the light of Shabbat, the spirit of peace, is within all of us, all over the world. Let us now go to somewhere in Beverly Hills for Sue and Barry Brucker to light the Shabbat candles for us on this Shabbat. Take it away, Sue and Barry.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone tuning in to Temple Emmanuel's virtual Shabbat. In these days of uncertainty and COVID-19 challenges, we welcome in Shabbat with mixed feelings, a heavy heart for all who are sick and suffering, family members who cannot visit loved ones, and those who have recently lost a loved one.
At the same time, we are also grateful that our Temple Emmanuel community, led by our phenomenal clergy team, is incredibly creative, wise, and inspirational. They are virtually holding us up and embracing each and every one of us with love, compassion, and spirituality. Even during these challenging times, let us always remember how precious love and life is. And although we are practicing physical distancing, we are blessed to have the opportunity to come together virtually as a community and bask in the glow of the Shabbat candles. Please stay safe and healthy and know that your Temple Emmanuel family is always here for you. Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We started with the energy of singing. Now we've brought the energy of light into our Shabbat. Now let us continue to welcome in the angels of Shabbat as they can help us to reach that place of peace. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch.
Let's go. Shalom Aleichem again. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch. Bo'achem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Some days I wake up and I can't believe that I'm not going anywhere again. And my body tightens and I can feel myself becoming distant from the world. Some days I wake up and I can't believe how lucky I am. I'm still here. I'm talking. I'm singing. I'm interacting. And I can feel myself becoming closer to everyone. All doing the same thing. Non-action to save each other's lives. Someday, I will wake and I will come to meet you and we'll have coffee together in person. And we'll talk about how busy we are and how we have to run because there's somewhere that we have to be. But until then, how do I live a life I never intended on living? How do I live today without knowing when, without knowing next week, without knowing? The uncertainty is becoming heavier with each day. Except today. Shabbat has arrived to give us a rest from the rest of the uncertainty. Because I know what today is for. It's for rejuvenation. It's for resetting. So that each week isn't a continuation of last week, but is by itself a new creation. New moments that are waiting to be lived. So take the frustration, take the isolation, take the uncertainty, and keep it in the week that was. Because next week is always uncertain. Next week is always new. Let us exist here, now, in Shabbat. Neither this week nor next, but right now. Please take a moment of a review of this past week so we can bring ourselves into next week. Chazarat HaShavua.
לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולי תהילה. Let's hear you sing. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי. אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נידע. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We're going to rise and welcome the Sabbath bride to our doors.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובסוף עולם, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We've reached that time where we bring our prayers in earnest to the forefront. We start with the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
My first year here at Temple Emmanuel, Doug Kotler was our cantor. And this is one of the many songs that Doug has written to help our liturgy come to life. For the Shema, listen.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you can hear if you listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Listen to our God. Listen to our God.
If we take the time to listen to those people around us, listen to those people on the news, to listen to people who need our help. That's how we tie ourselves to each other and to the universe. We're going to move now to Mi Chamocha, that moment where the Israelites became free. I have the feeling that we may be singing this song in the near future. When we feel like we're free, we can join hands together, perhaps still wearing gloves, but we can go out, join together, holding our hands together, singing this song. Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba
bim bam, ya
bim bim bam, ya ba mi chamocha,
mi chamocha, ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norati lo rosh efele, norati lo rosh
ya ba bim bam, ya
ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya
ba bim bim bam, ya ba
bim bam, ya
bim bim bam, ya ba
bim bam, mahalechutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imoch le'olam va'ed. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'ashot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם בברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. לדורותם בברית עולם. לדורותם בברית עולם.
We've come to that part of our service where we dig deep into ourselves As we've been beginning our prayers and trying to connect ourselves to the people around us and the universe, we now connect ourselves inside, deeply inside of us. We think about our ancestors. We think about our lives. We think about the peace that we want in this world. And we rise together as we sing the first line of the Amidah, and then we'll continue with silent prayer after. My God, open up my lips, fill my heart, let me sing your praises. My God, open up my lips, fill my heart, let me sing your praises. My God, open up my lips, fill my heart, let me sing your praises. My God, open up my lips, fill my heart, let me sing your praises. like these days as we come to pray together, that all our prayers lead to this prayer, the Mishberach, because there are so many people that we love and we care about that are going through pain right now. There are many that we know that are ill, many who are suffering from those that have passed away from COVID-19 and their families are destitute. So it is so important today and every time that we join together for prayer to call our attention to the ill, to pray on their behalf, to pray for all of us, to have the courage, for you to have the courage, for me to have the courage to call the people that need us, and to try to be there for them if we can't be there personally. If you'd like to start writing names in, you can actually write names on both YouTube and Facebook Live. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to move to YouTube, is we want you the opportunity to hear the name of the person that you're praying for. So you can start writing those names in, and we'll read the names as we get between the first two verses.
Schwarzkopf, Sherry Moore, Gloria Boraz, all of our frontline workers, Joel Susel, Dan Burke, Stephen Shannon, Yosef Ben Sarah, Larry Ehrenberg, Mike Hughes, Chuck Hefner, Ted Golden, Ted Kramer, Steve Lowenstein, Chayasura Bat Rachalea, Chayalea Bat Chayasura, Jackal Shansky, Michelle and Alan Kay, Ashley Martz, Malcolm Ladla, Penina Landau, Elizabeth Goldman, Dick Rosenzweig, Mitzi Olshansky, the Kay family, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, Helene Harris, Warren and Alyssa Roston, Ike Howard, Christian Silverheart, Denise Wall, Beverly Hong, Renee Cassine, Dorothy Feinblum, Jordan Bickner, Jennifer Eisenberg, if there are any last names, we'll make sure to say them at the end.
Bless the
Dorothy Feinblum, Jennifer Eisenberg, Dan Spitzer, Donna Kleiner-Lichtman, Suki Ponder, Phoebe Kraft.
It's my pleasure to go to somewhere else in Beverly Hills where we join Rabbi Sarah Bassin, who is going to bring us words of wisdom from the Torah.
Rabbi, what should I do? It's a question that I get not infrequently. People often seek out a rabbi when they're at a crossroads in their life. So they schedule an appointment with me. They sit down on my couch and they ask me the question, Rabbi, what should I do? Sometimes it's about navigating a difficult family relationship, right? An estranged sibling or a strange relationship with a parent. Sometimes it's about an unplanned pregnancy, whether or not to move forward. Sometimes it's just a major fork in the road of life, not being sure about what path is better. And so I get asked, Rabbi, what should I do? But it's a question I almost never answer directly because I'm not equipped with greater moral insight or clarity than anybody else. I didn't receive some kind of certificate of superior moral insight when I got ordained. For me to dictate to someone such a life-altering choice, the consequences of which I don't have to grapple with after that choice is made, that would be such an extraordinary level of chutzpah, of gumption and gall. And yet, I would like to think that when people come into my office to ask the question, they don't feel that they walk away empty-handed. Because while I may not answer it for them, I can help connect them to the tools they need to make the decision, the tools of our tradition. Judaism and religion in general help us to see ourselves in context. Sarah Hurwitz, the author of Here All Along, speaks to what she gained from Judaism that she couldn't find in a wildly successful career or a fulfilling life. She says that there are two main ethical themes in Judaism: self-restraint and self-transcendence. Self-restraint. It turns out that do whatever feels good is not exactly a Jewish approach. She says, rather, Jewish law puts a great many limits on how we satisfy our appetites for things like power, money, sex, and food. And then self-transcendence. Judaism is passionately concerned with how we treat others. Do we take their needs into account? Do we notice their suffering? Do we respond? People sit down on my couch and they ask the question, Rabbi, what should I do? Because they're looking to be held accountable to something other than just the self. I once knew a man who was in a troubled marriage. And he first went through to a therapist to work through his issues. He was wrestling with a strong attraction to a colleague, an attraction that wouldn't go away, one that he never acted on, but that he was deeply considering. And the therapist advised him to let the woman know how he felt, to see what happened. That would give him the information that he needed to make the decision that was best for him. But when he came to my office after going to the therapist, the advice was very different. I told him, you don't need me to tell you that infidelity is right or wrong. You already know the answer to that question. The other person is simply a distraction from the questions that you need to face in your own marriage. I believe that he was looking to be held accountable to more than just himself. Whether he stayed in that marriage or not, that was a question only he and his wife could answer. That was not for me to decide. But starting a relationship that would have created a foregone conclusion, with a lot of pain and harm left in its wake, that wouldn't be good. It was an answer that factored in only the self. He came seeking the rabbi because he wanted a different framework for the conversation. The secular one only asked him to think about himself and himself alone, what he wanted, not what he owed to others, to his wife, to that colleague, to his kids, to think through the impacts of his decision on them. Self-restraint and self-transcendence. That's what Judaism provides, the self in a larger context. When we come upon the instructions in this week's Torah portion, Achrei Mot, about all of the practices of self-denial associated with Yom Kippur, no sex, no eating, no drinking, no luxury items, all of the offerings that we put up for sacrifice, the examining of our shortcomings, it actually translates quite well to our time. Ta'anu et nafshotechem, humble your souls, deny your souls, lower your souls. The ancient rituals are not about pleasing some demanding deity. They're about familiarizing ourselves with the experience of non-indulging, of thinking beyond the self, and becoming more fluent in that practice and that language. As Sarah Hurwitz says, Jewish law demands greater self-discipline and sensitivity to the needs of others than I would summon if I were left to my own devices, and demands far greater discipline and sensitivity than our secular laws and cultural norms. The funny thing is, as a rabbi, I often call colleagues and congregants with some version of that question brought to me. Rabbi, what should I do? Not because I want them to tell me, but because I know that I too am limited by this lens of self. I too seek to be held accountable to self-restraints and self-transcendence that our tradition invites. The question, Rabbi, what should I do, is not as straightforward as it seems. It's a subconscious invitation to draw on the help of tradition, how self-restraint and how self-transcendence factor in. It's actually key to shaping who the self we want to be is when we look in the mirror. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Bassin, for those incredible words. We have now reached the final portion of our service. We'll be singing Aleinu together and then move to Kaddish Yatom. And I would like to say at this time, if you'd like to start writing in names of those people that you love and care about, that you're thinking of because you're in the midst of Shloshim, or the first year after the death of a loved one, or if it is a yahrzeit of a relative of yours. If you'd like to write those names in, we'll be able to call them out before we say Kaddish Yatom together. But first, we go to Aleinu. לשבח לאדון הכל,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Kaddish Yatom, and I'd like to ask if you have any names that you would like to call out right now for all of us to hear. Please do write it in. Cantor?
Robert A. Klein, Barry and Carol K. Murray Avarak, Susan's father. Shirley Newman, John Lafia, Nona and Richard Raphael, artists Evelyn Day and Grace Luden Payne, Marvin Fortman, Bess Lurie, Judy Mendelson, Nagin Dahesh, Milan Lojo, Cantor Paul Sabisher, Parvin Hakakian, Bat Khani, Sarah Leah Roth, Julie Stock, Jordan Buckner, Eden Siesser, Jennifer Eisenberg, Joan Greenberg, Joel Yaxel.
Just want to mention it's also when there's someone who's worked at the synagogue, Cantor Gary Shapiro, it is his yard site on this Shabbat. We join together with all of those names called to say Kaddish Yatom. We also say Kaddish for those who have no one to say it for them. And we say it to those lives lost in the Holocaust. We say it for all of the lives lost to COVID-19 and all of the lives that have been lost in the violence in recent times. We say Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'l'olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'miran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high create harmony between all of us, in all Israel, indeed in the whole world. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. Now for some brief announcements. I'd like to head in that direction, again in Beverly Hills. Myra Lurie, please take it away.
Hi, I'm Myra Lurie, one of your temple presidents, here on behalf of the other co-presidents, Kristen Jameson, Jeff Wharton, and Scott Stone. We all want to thank you very much for being with us and thank our wonderful clergy for a beautiful service tonight. It was uplifting and a fantastic way to close the week. We hope you'll stay with us for Shabbat. Tomorrow morning at 10, we will have our Shabbat service and Torah study. That's on Zoom at 10. And we will finish Shabbat tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. with Rabbi Aaron and his family for a special Havdalah that will include a sing-along at the end. Now, I heard that sing-along might have a campfire theme, so I'm remaining prepared. I've got my Havdalah candle and my spices, and just in case there is a camp theme, I've got all the fixings for s'mores. So stay with us for that. We also wanted to let you know that as part of the social justice work that we do here at Temple Emmanuel, we are collaborating with One LA for a statewide program that is designed to ensure the inclusion and access of all essential workers and immigrants for any statewide assistance. That will be discussed further in a Zoom call on Tuesday, May 5th at 5:45, and you're invited to contact Rabbi Bassin if you need more information about that. Finally, next Shabbat, we will have our special Sisterhood Shabbat. It is going to feature words and poetry of women in our community and music composed by female composers, so don't miss it. We again thank you so much for being with us. We hope that you and your loved ones are happy and safe and healthy, and we send our blessings and our wishes to you for a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Myra. You know, when you're sitting there in your yard, it looks like one of those fake backgrounds you can put on your Zoom square. It looks so beautiful where you were sitting. Thanks for that announcement. Just one little change on that. The service itself is going to be on YouTube and Facebook Live. The teaching at 11:30, that will be at 11:30 on Zoom, and you can join us for that. And just briefly about Havdalah tomorrow at 7 o'clock, please join me for that in my home. And we're going to do the Havdalah prayers, but afterwards we like to do a little bit of singing, and you can go on Facebook, you can go on the announcement of the Havdalah and put in some songs. We're going to sing, I don't know, it depends how many songs are put in there, probably 5 songs, 6 songs, depending on, I guess how they go. But please put them in, so if we need to kind of have the lyrics out there or the chords or something like that, we can prepare that. It's going to be more like if a song gets a lot of votes, that's the one we're going to do. So that's one announcement that I have about Havdalah tomorrow, and now Cantor Weiss has another announcement she would like to bring to you.
Rabbi Bassin's 3-part series, Religion and Politics class, begins on May 5th. If you look on our Facebook or our many emails or our website, you'll see a big banner with Rabbi Bassin's face. It says Learning to Connect. It says Religion and Politics, How and How Not to Inform Public Discourse. Rabbi Bassin, there is a lot to explain with what this class is, and you are on Facebook and YouTube, so maybe you could give a little more detailed description. But the important thing is that it starts May 5th, and so everyone should save the date. It is at I need glasses. It is at 2 p.m. all 3 weeks in a row.
May 5th that's really close to Cinco de Mayo, isn't it?
Oh, I have to cancel my Cinco de Mayo plan. No.
I want to thank you so much for being with us this evening. You could be anywhere right now. You could be watching anything you'd like. But to come together as a community, you in your home, us here in the sanctuary, so that we could bring the feeling of this space into your life, and you could bring your energy and smiles and singing into our lives. We can join together to make Shabbat special each week, even though we're sheltering in place. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for choosing Temple Emmanuel to be your spiritual home. And let's end together with Oseh Shalom to bring peace to the whole world. Oseh Shalom Bimromah, Hu Yaseh Shalom.
Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
May you feel blessed and safe. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel joyous and whole. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.